Well, greetings again. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt with the American Orthodontic Society, and I'm going to discuss a case here. It's very, very interesting. It's palatal separation done real early. Actually, we were in the mixed dentition, and you're going to get cases that things need to be done real early, and then you can't get to a good spot to take the braces off to have a two-phase case. You just have a long, drawn-out case, and this is kind of what happened here. And if you can learn what's going on here, you'll be able to do a lot of early orthodontics. If you're a pediatric dentist, this is something that needs to be done. You can't turn it over to an orthodontist or a regular. It's better that the pediatric dentist learned some of the orthodontics and learned how to do these things. So I'm going to go through this case and show it to you. It'll take us a while now to show it. We've got a young lady here who is started off. She's got a kind of an impacted upper left central and lateral, and she's a little bit of a mouth breather. And so we got a little narrow palate in here, and we have to come in early and do some of this work. That's not a real good picture of her. And here she is. She breathes through the mouth, you can tell. Most of the time she's got her mouth open like this. I'm going to choke up during the case. Now here's the problem. We've got one central has come in here, and the other one is up in here somewhere, like that. And here's the lateral, and the permanent cuspid hadn't started in, and so we needed some space quite bad where this upper arch needs to be enlarged, and that'll enlarge let us enlarge the lower arch also at the same time. So let's follow this through. And here is the right side. It's in a nearly class 1 relationship. You can see the 6-year molars in here and the baby teeth. And we're going to put a palatal separator on a bunch of baby teeth. And you can do that, but you have to watch the way we do it here. Now go on. And so here we kind of drew it out on the model, what we would plan to do. And in this particular palatal separator, to keep these teeth in line, we actually covered this with acrylic and let her bite and ground them down to where they were the same depth on each side of the mouth. And we'll show that up later. And here are these impacted teeth that are coming in, like at that time. This is a most unusual case, and this needs to be done early. I mean, you have to start the thing early, and it's not a real good time to come out of it. So here we are. This is the cephalometric we took in this 1987, 8/31 of 87, and she's 9 and 3. So we're going to take a long time to finish this young lady up because the teeth just aren't there when you start. So here we go. So we put the flexible wire with expansion all down here on the lower arch and got it kind of going good. We put our bands on the upper molars and the deciduous teeth, and we built a separator on deciduous teeth. Plus the permanent, the first molar, of course. And we're going to separate this palate, work it off of the deciduous teeth and the permanent 6-year molar, and it'll spread this out up here and gain a good bit of space, which will allow us to line these teeth up, and we'll also expand the lower teeth at the same time. And this is a involved case. You might not, if you're just learning how to put brackets on the stuff, I wouldn't advise tackling a case like this. But anyway, we put the palatal separator, and you took your braces off and everything, you put it in, and it cemented good, and then we put little acrylic pads on the teeth on both sides, and they're closed together, and we ground them down, you see, to where you can move the jaw around with the bonded blocks on top of the separator. And now you're going to separate that. Here's a magnified picture of it. You just grind everything, you just leave the spots where the teeth touch so they can move their jaw fairly well. Now, here these permanent teeth are coming in. Now we've got the palate separated pretty good, and we're bringing these teeth down into place. And we'll line up the lower teeth at the same time, and maybe expand the lower arch to match up with the upper arch too. So here is another view of that, and here the palatal separator is pushing that apart, giving us some space. And this is 1988. We've got the thing going pretty good, and we started in 87 something, and we've got these teeth have come in now, and we've got them lined up. You'll see a little more gingival tissue there. That'll level out as we finish this case up. And we've got the lower arch in, and got a round wire in, and that's the palatal separator that kind of dropped back here, showing you how much we had opened it up. And down on the bottom, we've got to expand the spring in here, opening space for the cuspids. And over on this side, you see a step-down arch. We're waiting on these teeth to come through, so we built a little step-down arch to keep. If you put a straight wire, you tend to bend it, chewing on it like that. Now we've got the teeth up above coming in, except the permanent cuspids. These are deciduous cuspids coming through, and this is a kind of a mixed dentition case that you started early to get things lined up so they'll come in better. And I think these are the two teeth that were impacted up there. We cut the separator out and left the bands on with the hooks on them if we needed something to hook over the lingual there. But the bands are still in there, and the permanent bicuspids are coming through. So here we are in looks like 91. We've lined up the teeth pretty good, got everything going, and we're just waiting on teeth to erupt into the mouth. And that's not the best, that wasn't the best focus we have here. But now the permanent cuspid is coming in over here, so we'll have to get it back in place. This one lined up pretty good, and the bicuspids are in. Everything's going well, but we're still waiting on erupting permanent teeth. And this is 1991, and we started this case in 1987, something like that, the end of 87. And we've been in there this long. We never wanted to take everything out, so you don't have any definite spot in there you can quit and start again for these two-phase cases. So this is a long-term case that you had to start something that you wouldn't find a spot in there to take everything off and wait and then start again. So we just stayed in there. And you got to keep them brushing good, and that's an important thing on a case like this. And let's go on here. So we're coming along. I don't have the date on this picture here, but we have the midline lined up, the overjet, overbite, and everything is getting good. And let's see, I think we show some other back up on some pictures here in a minute. So this is the way the upper arch. This is 92. This is we've got the whole upper arch lined up like that. And here we're going to go back from the start. This is the first patarex we did, and these two teeth right here were packed it up here. Not enough room. This is an old type patarex, so don't pay attention to this right here. So we're going in and separate this, put it apart, and we at one time thought we'd have to take some teeth out, but we went through pretty good here. All right, this is age 9 and 3, and here we are. She's 10 and 3 at this time. We put the palatal separator in. You can see how its own 2 deciduous teeth right here, plus the permanent teeth over here. Now we put this bonded material on here to keep these teeth in place, because you just lose them after a while. And as these erupt in here, we'll take this off. And this is 1988, and she's 10 and 3 now at this time. And I don't have the date up there on that. It looks like 12 years. And then we've got her coming then. And the permanent teeth are just now dropping down in this side over here. We've taken the palatal separator out, and the band is still on this teeth with part of the palatal separator. We cut it off and took it out of the mouth, and she's got wisdom teeth. And this wisdom tooth looks hopelessly impacted up there. And unless she grows a lot, there's no way we're going to be able to get. See, this is tissue, that's bone. And so we end up taking the wisdom teeth out of the case. And here the wisdom teeth have been removed. It looks like a little bit in there. And she's 14 years old. And so we've been in here a long time, but we had a good reason for that. And you just have to take time to do this and take time to do it properly. And so she's going to be wearing these braces for a long time. And her neighbor kids may say, well, we had our teeth straightened in just 2 years or less than 2 years, and here you've been in braces for all this time. But we were waiting on these teeth to erupt. And we cut that palatal separator off right here, and we cut it out over on this side and let these teeth come on down in the mouth. But we held them in place till we got the separation done. Here is the young lady now, a little excess vertical height of the face. We didn't accomplish that too good. The midline slightly off, but not much. And this is a picture that's kind of gotten deformed in making the picture. That's not like that. And here we are from the start, and then this is what we started with. Here's where it started in 1987. Actually, this is 88 before we got going good on it. And there are those teeth coming in. It just fills in. Those pictures could have been up in here earlier in the place. And this is going, that's a bad shot right there. So this was 88. We were at this point, and we'll run on through that fast. So we got these teeth in, and here is the drop down arch. You see, while we were waiting on these teeth to come in here, and we're opening up the space over on the other side where the palatal separator is in the upper, of course. And then, now these are the permanent teeth coming in. This kind of goes back in the case. And so we had that bonding material over these, and we took that out. Now here we are in 1991, and this is 92. And here is the second panorex. That's where we started with the palatal separator. And this is 12 years. And this is 91, and she's 13 and 5 months old at this time. And we started out back when she was about 9. So we've got several years involved in treatment. And there's the bone structure is going up here on the young lady, and she's 13 and 5, meaning that young ladies are not going to grow much between, say, 12 and 15. About 13 and a half or 14 is about the end of it. So there's not going to be a chance for this to grow enough jaw here to get this tooth in, nor this one over here. So we had these teeth removed. This one was way up out of place. The roots of this tooth was up in here. I don't know what that's showing right there, but okay, we go on. And that's 91, and here we are. In 93, we finished the case up. And this is 2 of 93. And that's the end of what we've got. I don't have the finishing touch-up pictures, but you can see what we did. And so I hope you learned something about two-phase cases. You can get some cases that you cannot do in two-phase. You start them real early, and you got to do something, and there's something else, and there's something else. And then you have to stay in there till you're completely through. And so some of these cases last for several years before you can treat it right. So you just have to stay in there and hope that they brush good and use sealants on the teeth to keep from getting decalcification. Thank you for watching, and I hope you get something from this case. So you pediatric dentists, this is something you should know how to do. It's hard to work with an orthodontist unless you got them right there in your office with you. So learn the orthodontics yourself. That's what I would say do. But that can't be exactly done proper. So I'm going to close up, and we'll say I hope I'll see you again, and hope you'll join our group and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Now I'll say goodbye.